So even though everyone and their mother is on mock draft 75.9, actually, I would love to count how many mock drafts we've done. Probably like 30, but whatever. But this time of year, especially the NFL insiders and guys that have connections to former scouts, guys that have connections to current scouts and know people in front offices, it's when their mock drafts get really interesting because mock drafts in general are what they're hearing, what NFL insiders are hearing, what NFL personalities are hearing. Big boards is how they see it, etc. So it is really intriguing when guys like Daniel Jeremiah and as well as Bucky Brooks, who we're going to talk about today, their mock drafts started getting very specific, very eerily specific as it gets closer and closer to the draft because, publicly, things that get out to the media, especially things leaked through the NFL, insider crew, or it's like, well, we're hearing this. It is smoke and mirrors. Everything does leak for a reason, but then all of a sudden you see something interesting happen on a mock draft from a DJ, from a Bucky, from other people who have connections of people inside the league. It's like, oh. This does make a little bit of sense. So this is a fun time of year. Bucky just released his mock draft 4.0. We're going to take a look at the Vikings picks as well as a couple of intriguing things that went down as we move closer and closer to draft day. So 22, Vikings land Christian Fulton, cornerback at LSU. And for me, I do like him. I wish he was a little bit more physical, but just in terms of a guy who's going to be great in zone, does need to work on man a little bit. I think that he is a pretty solid all-around good safe-ish cornerback, especially the way that he played in some of the big games, especially that national title game against T. Higgins and Clemson. This is what Bucky wrote. The Vikings need to replace the departed starting cornerbacks with plug-and-play prospects. Fulton has all the tools needed to be a high-level cover corner early in his career. Fully agree. I think, like I said, I think he is one more safer picks, whereas a guy I like Jalen Johnson, I like Jeff Gladden because I like to roll them bones, baby. Let's throw them dice because I want some full-on alpha dogs. Now, Fulton, temperamental wise does remind me a little bit more of Wayne's. I mean, Wayne's a little bit more blessed in straight line speed, but I think Fulton has great hips. I think he's got all the tools to be a really good cornerback in Mike Zimmer's system. Come in right away, day one, opposite Mike Hughes, opposite Holton Hill, and do a little bit of work. 25. So Bucks has got the Vikings going wide receiver. So Justin Jefferson, and we've said our piece about Justin Jefferson of how maybe he wouldn't be a great fit here specifically for the Vikings, mainly because I think at the NFL level he's going to be in the slot. Where even in college on the outside he had a tough time getting off a press. I think that's just going to be murder in the NFL. And also Vikings have Adam Thielen, who's probably the best slot receiver in the league, right? As Bucky wrote. Vikings to replace Stephon Diggs with a versatile receiver, possessing exceptional route running skills and dependable hands. So all that is true, absolutely. But like we mentioned about his position overlap with Thielen, as well as he really was a bit of a one-year wonder. 2018 he had some decent numbers, nothing mind-blowing, but 2019 came around. Joe Burrow, number one overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, as well as Joe Brady, who was the passing game coordinator for the Tigers, now the offense coordinator with the Panthers. How much of that was them? How much of it was Jefferson? Very solid player, don't get me wrong. But pick for the Vikings. And we have mentioned that wide receiver is the position of the big three needs for the Vikes, offensive line, cornerback, wide receiver, that the Vikings probably could pass as you get into round 2, round 3, round 4. There are going to be some decent names because this is such a deep wide receiver class that would contribute right away for the Vikings. So, I mean, nitpicking through, would I have preferred, Josh Jones at 25, getting one of the big 6 tackles? Absolutely. Even Ezra Cleveland. I'm specifically high on Ezra Cleveland because I think schematically he would be the perfect fit for the Vikings. I know general consensus, people are down on Cleveland since he does have to come into a specific scheme. Luckily, the Vikings are said specific scheme. So Josh Jones going to the Packers, that would really annoy the hell out of me. Or even if they went wide receiver here, getting a Jalen Reagor like we talked about, getting a Brandon Ike would make a lot of sense. Maybe even getting like a T. Higgins or a Denzel Mims, who I don't believe they go in Bucky's draft here. Oh, also, if Ruggs gets to 21, I mean, the Vikings should go get him. That's the whole thing there. Where in terms of just game-breaking speed, he has it. In terms of the closest facsimile of Tyreek Hill in this draft, he is it. I think he's a more underrated route runner. He is more than just a 9 guy, but he's definitely a 9 guy as well. So, frankly, If he got that far, the Vikings should get up to 20 because the Eagles, I mean, that's an easy pick. They got their Deshaun Jackson too right there. But honestly, if Ruggs start, and there are no trades in this first round mock, so it's understandable. But in actual in real life application, there you go, nailed it. Vikings should be potentially moving up to either 19 or 20. I'm surprised the Raiders didn't take him because the Raiders went Judy early on. They could double up on the Bama receivers. That'd be sick. But just quickly skimming through his entire mock. So he's got Burrow at 1, makes sense. Chase Young 2 makes a lot of sense. Derek Brown at 3. In terms of like a safe, inert pick, it does make a lot of sense. Okuda going to Detroit would replacing Darius Big Play Slay would make sense too. 4, Wirfs, they get the massive size guy going to the Giants. No shocker there. A little bit of a shocker. A little bit of upset. Dolphins go Justin Herbert. Now, it could be medically related. It could be, the lesser of two evils. A little bit unknown with Tua's hip because of the Rona. You can't get your doctors in there to medically recheck. Also, Tua does have a history of some lower body injuries as well. And Herbert, he's a big, strong dude. And is he as accurate as Tua? No. Does he have a stronger arm than Tua? Yes. So the Dolphins are just taking a shot, trying to get their Dan Marino to electric boogaloo. Simmons just falls to the Chargers. Simmons and Derwin James and all those, Drew Tranquil and Bosa and just like Ingram and just my God. 7 Okuda, starting things off with Matt Rule and the Panthers makes a lot of sense. Jedrick Wills to the Cardinals. And he could play right or left side, and you're protecting Kyler Murray. National title game. Or they meet in the semifinals. Doesn't matter. 9, Tua stops the slide, ends up with the Jaguars. Now, I fully thought that the Jaguars would be in the quarterback business next year. Just roll with Gardner Minshew for a year, see what happens. But if Tua's going to fall to you at 9, it's pretty tough to pass up. Becton goes to the Browns at 10. So, again, the Andrew Thomas disrespect is real. Lamb goes to the Jets at 11. A little bit of toys for Sam Darnold, the little mono boy. 12, Jerry Jeudy goes to the Raiders. Now, could have really expected the Raiders to go Ruggs here. But the most complete wide receiver 1 goes to Oakland. Kinlaw falls to the Niners, which, they got rid of Buckner. And you're essentially Yankee swapping out Buckner for Kinlaw, where different positions, 5-tech versus 3-tech. But, I mean, come on. Andrew Thomas just falls into the lap of the Bucs. Protecting Tom Brady's decrepit ass is going to be great. 15, surprised they didn't go Ruggs here. Beginning Henderson to pair up with A.J. Bouye sort of makes sense. Falcons obviously in need of cornerback help. They go Terrell in this spot. I mean, they easily could have gone Christian Fulton. They could have gone a different direction. Also, one of the big rumors is the Falcons could potentially be moving up for a guy like C.J. Henderson. So there you go. 17, Chasen goes to the Cowboys. Cowboys are always just looking for edge help. Just does seem like it, doesn't it? 18, so after they got the house, now you got to get the insurance. So Austin Jackson has been surprisingly high on a couple of mocks. And now, again, you're betting on the come. You're betting on potential with Austin Jackson. The kid's 20 years old, still growing into his body. I do have hesitation about how he's played against some of the big-time rushers in this draft. I mean, Epineza, as well as Julian Okwara from Notre Dame. Patrick Queen goes to the Raiders. So the Raiders get Judy and Patrick Queen. That's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good. Epinesa goes to the Jaguars. So they get Tua. They get AJ Epinesa. It's not bad. Ruggs III goes to Philly, which pisses me off. Xavier McKinney ends up going to the Patriots. So they skew quarterback, at least for the first round. Maybe they double back for Jalen Hurts in this. Well, they don't have the second round pick. Later in the draft. 24. So Jordan Love, 4th quarterback off the board, goes to the Saints. I think this is a perfect spot for him because he's not going to be ready day 1, year 1, maybe not even year 2. So a spot where he can sit behind Drew Brees for a year, 2 at most, probably 1 year. Because as fun as Taysom Hill is, he's not the answer. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback. He's also like 30, by the way. Like low key, he is super old because the BYU route. So bringing in Jordan Love, also out of Utah State, so going full on Utah there. I think of Jordan Love with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, just slinging it all over the Superdome. Just easy flick of the wrist. Man, sexy. Jefferson to the Vikings. DeAndre Swift to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins got the QB, they got the left tackle, and now they got the running back du jour, which makes a lot of sense. I think DeAndre Swift receiving out of the backfield's really great. Did have some massive holes at Georgia behind Andrew Thomas, Isaiah Wilson, and company, but 27 gross matter. So it feels like the Seahawks always just get a great defensive lineman. So YGM goes to Seattle. Zach Bond, another great linebacker, comes into the Ravens. Give me just the next great edge guy, whatever. Marlon Davidson, they list him as an edge here, but just sort of a do-it-all defensive lineman from Auburn. Josh Jones, like we mentioned, going to Green Bay. Trevin Diggs going to San Francisco to be opposite of Richard Sherman. And then J.K. Dobbins coming out of Ohio State, stud, like 2,000-yard rusher from Ohio State back in the day. Hops into the backfield with Damon Williams and company there. So that's it. That is Bucky Brooks Mock Draft 4.0. Overall, it's very intriguing. We like it. We're okay with the Vikings picks. We probably would have gone a different direction, but understand and respect the thinking and logic behind it. But there you go. Your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.